Happy 2026, everybody. I can't believe we started a new year. I feel like we were just doing January 2025 group, but here we are. So, to kick us off for today, I have an icebreaker about your hidden talents. So, something that is not an Olympic sport. But if it was, you would totally crush it and win gold. Now, this doesn't have to be a sport. This can be something completely silly. This can be something that is a hobby and you're good at. This could be something that people joke with you about. This can be, again, it does not have to be a true sport in any matter. It can just be something that you do all the time that you could win a gold medal for. So, um, so for instance, I could win a gold medal for typos. 100% absolutely could, hands down. The other thing I could win a gold medal for, and I actually think previously FFT, or we were TFC at the time, gave me a like a superlative award for dying of the most crazy thing. I get the weirdest illnesses or injuries, particularly when I travel. Who falls off a cliff in Africa? Who gets bit by a flamingo and gets a parasite? Um, yeah, so those would be my two gold medals.
I have one.
Any, go ahead.
I think it would be dressing people. I love to like choose people's outfits. That's my favorite thing. Like that's my I'll like if I go out with someone shopping or anything, I'll just choose out their outfit. I just love that. It's like my favorite thing.
I'm on mute. I might have to take you up on that because I hate, like, I'm always like, well, is this in style? Does this match with this? Does it flow? So you might be my new personal stylist. Love this.
Okay, I want to go. I feel like mine would have to do with Fortnite. Like, it's very embarrassing.
Go for it. Really, mine's typos.
Like, I could literally play that game all damn day for hours at a time, lose every single game, but still have a grand old time. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it'd be like most Fortnite losses or something like that.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah,
love that. Like consecutive in a row or something.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. Most hours in a row without like a break.
And I can appreciate that because I love that game, but I actually will rage quit. I get so mad that I can't stay on it for an extended period of time. So I appreciate that that would be something to get an award for. 100%.
I was struggling to come up with one, but that inspired me. Something about me is Grey's Anatomy is my comfort show, and so I just watch it over and over. I knew it was getting bad when I could call time of death, like not of important patients, like random patients that die. So I don't know if it could be like a quiz show or like a summary, but like I would be really good at that because I can tell you pretty much everything about that show. I've watched it on repeat since high
Okay.
school. So yeah, quiz show, summary, I got you if you need it.
For like, so you would be like the trivia, Grey's Anatomy trivia,
Per
Jeopardy type.
se. I wish every week I go to trivia with my boyfriend sometimes, and every week I hope they pull it as a category because I would get it.
Love that. Okay. So are you McDreamy or McSteamy?
When you watch it over and over again, you realize they weren't neither of them were that good. Unfortunately, it's for the plot. Um, but I don't know. I don't think I could pick one over the other because neither of them are. When you watch it over and over again, you realize they're not great men. They're really they're great, good looking, but they're not good characters.
All right. So your personality overlooks.
I really feel like we're outing ourselves with this question, but whatever. Um, I have two that came to mind. I'm gonna go with one that feels less embarrassing. I'm a
Fair.
big I'm a big rewatch movie person. If I like a movie, it becomes my comfort movie and I will watch it over and over again. So, one of the movies that is my go-to, probably watched it 1,000 times. I could recite every single line, every single. I could tell you what's happening with my eyes closed for that entire movie. And that would definitely win an award. I'm not convinced I'm going to tell you what movie it is because that's
I was
embarrassing.
just, we were all
Just go with
waiting.
it. Just
You're
go with
not,
it, guys.
Just
can you
tell
tell us
us
what
the movie.
genre?
Come on, we
Just tell
gotta
us the
know.
movie.
It's a kid's movie. It's not even a grown adult.
That's
Is
okay.
it Merry Christmas, you filthy animal? Is it that? Is that
No, but I do know a lot of words to that movie. It's The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. Every single
No,
word.
that's a good one.
Every
a
single
good one.
line, word, intonation, phrase. I can even do the accent. I would win an award, there's no doubt. I could do the whole movie for you.
Do we get at least one line right now? All right. I tried, guys. I tried. Anybody else?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with what the kids would tell me, like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're watching a Christmas movie again." So like a Hallmark, but my favorite is oh my God, Noel. It's a Christmas movie as well. That one I'll watch, and the kids will be like, "Again?"
All right.
So that would be me.
All right. Did we get everybody? I'm sorry,
I'm
I've lost.
last. I would say
Oh,
I
thanks,
would
Mel.
win an award for like hunches. I feel like I could. My grandmother used to be. My grandmother used to be. My grandmother passed away in '93, but she used to be able to talk to dead people. Sounds very bizarre, but it's actually true. Um,
Oh, okay.
yes, like she was like a. I would. She wasn't like a paid psychic, but she can speak to the dead. And that was ironically, I have like this thing where I get hunches about people and I feel like this weird energy and I'm always right. Sometimes I try not to tell people that I know already, but I'll keep it to myself. Every once in a while I can't hold it and I'll just like spit it out. So I don't know how much of that is like something that I'm born with or is just something I've developed over time, but I would say I would win an award for that.
Listen, that's a cool thing to win an award for. And Mindy, before you start, Lauren, did you go?
I don't have an answer.
I feel like I thought you were gonna say something about like Stray Kids facts or songs or memorabilia. Like, I don't know. That's where the route I thought you were going.
I will tell you this, that my my best friend does enjoy when she'll sit me down and on YouTube they have these like quiz things where it's like guess the song in like from like the first like 2 seconds or something or like one little sound from it. And she does like for me to sit and just do those and it'll be like 75 songs. Um, I am good at those.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I
I feel
actually
good
could
at
see that.
stuff.
That's a
I
good
couldn't
one.
think of anything.
No, that's a good
That's
one.
a
I
good
like
one,
that.
Lauren.
Oh my gosh, Riley. Put the cat back on screen.
She likes to be involved with meetings. Like she hears people and she thinks she's involved. So she literally heard you guys and started yelling from the other room and then came in. She does it every time I go on an online meeting with you guys. She thinks she's involved.
She could be our mascot.
Meow.
All right. I love this. I love this for all of us. I love that we all have these hidden, unique talents, and they're gonna get us far. We all need a plan after we leave Family and Children's Aid. So thank you. So today, we know we're all working with our foster parents. We know that we absolutely could not do what we do without them. And definitely want to start out 2026 with a huge thank you and acknowledgement and shout out to our foster parents. And I love that dance, Mel. Thank you. And so that being said, FFT is a unique piece to what we do at Family and Children's Aid. And it really does focus on the foster parents being a key component in the treatment. And so I want to take some time, as we really do recognize the importance of our foster parents, to talk about why they're so important. What is so key about that family context? Why do we feel like these foster parents are, other than the obvious, right? They provide the house, they provide the food, they provide the day-to-day, safety. But what is it at that higher level, that clinical level, that is so important about the family context?
Well, in FFT, you're taking them at the height. A lot of times when the children are placed, you're taking them at the height of whatever it is that they're going through, whether they've been removed from their home. A lot of these kids have experienced tremendous trauma. And you're taking them at that moment with all of these issues. So you're not, you're not just getting a kid, not to say that, you don't have children that are not going through things all the time, but for the most part, because it's therapeutic foster care, you're taking kids in with therapeutic needs, and it takes a special kind of person to be able to handle those needs in the way that they should be handled. So I think that that's what makes these parents very special.
I also think too, just, one of the basic tenets, principles, whatever you want to say, of FFT, and something we go back to a lot in our consultations, is these kids don't exist in a bubble. They exist in a world where they interact with other people. They are impacted by other people. They are shaped by other people, triggered by other people, irritated by other people. But so I think to just look at that kid and say, okay, here's the list of concerns, we're gonna address it with that kid, is not doing that piece of FFT, where it is that lens of the family and the fact that all of these other people around them play a role in supporting this kid, working through things with this kid, because they don't just exist in a bubble.
Now, Mariah, can I ask you for a clarification? You said we go back to in consultation. What is a consultation? What does that mean for those who
Okay,
don't know what that means?
Yeah. I was like, what is she about to ask me? I thought I made sense. But no, so
you made sense for those of us who speak the language.
Sometimes I forget that not everybody does. So one of the things that comes with the implementation of the FFT treatment model is weekly consultations. And that is a space where we meet as a team, and we might go through one case. This past week, I somehow managed to do two. It was amazing. I normally can't do two because we talk a lot, but it is the space where we really try to focus just on the FFT treatment. And we really try to ground ourselves in the model and focus on how we're implementing the model. Again, trying to put aside all of the other pieces that exist with foster care, with these kids, with DCF workers, all those pieces, and really just focus on honing in on our FFT treatment.
So for folks who aren't necessarily familiar with that word consultation, it's really FFT specific supervision. It's just about doing the model and working with that case. Is that sort of an accurate description? Okay. Thanks for clarifying. And yes, you did make sense. I just knew that there was a word in there that not everybody might be familiar with. Other thoughts on why we really focus on that family context? In some cases, we focus, right? We don't just focus on that foster family. Sometimes we work with the biological family too. And why would we, again, why the family?
I think like Mariah said, like these kids exist outside of just being in that foster home. So family means so many things, so many different things to so many different people. And so encompassing family into treatment is just obviously part of our model, but also part of what brings us success, and their willingness to work with us and to work with the kid and to work with the school and the therapist, and to all those outside factors really is what, puts us forward and shows us the success. And that is really great to see, the willingness to work with everybody involved with this child's life. Because although they're one child, like Mariah said, they're often involved in so many other outside resources as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. Mel, I'm loving your nonverbals today. They are on point. We know that let me back up. Let me not assume. What would you say or see as the point of most struggle in a foster placement? Would you say it's often, the initial part? Would you say it's the transition home? Would you say it's transition to adoption? Would you say it's sometime in the middle? What would your theory be?
I don't know if this is the answer you wanted, but it's the answer I'm going to give.
There's no answer I wanted. I
I
want
think
honesty.
I think it's a roller coaster. I think it's the initial point, then we mellow out and everybody gets stable. Then it's the transition point, and then we mellow out and things get stable. Then it's the closing. I mean, I think to answer your question, it's all of those things and it's up and down all the time.
And the beginning can feel like a free fall initially. Like, I don't know where this is actually going. If we're going to talk about a roller coaster,
No, that's good. That's
Right.
actually really good. That's a good point, Mel. I think
Right.
you're right. I like that.
You just brought me so back to total tangent. You just brought me so back to my childhood at like amusement parks where like there was a ride where you would like go on and it was literally like a free, like you would get strapped in and it would just fall like thousands and thousands of feet. And if you survived, good for you. If you threw up all over it, really sad for the people on that ride with you. Um, okay. So yeah, I mean, Mariah, I don't disagree with you. I do think, right, you have moments where it feels like that free fall, things feel super chaotic, and then you have times where it mellows out. Why do we see that roller coaster ride? And how do we help families get through it?
Well, that's the thing. A family is a family. And the good news is because it's a foster home, we understand that because it's a foster family, they understand the idea of family. And even though it's a foster home, we try not to make it foster with everything. We try to, I would say, embrace the family aspect of things. And I think that once they understand it's a family, they know that when you are having in your real family, there's ups and downs and there's bumps and there's things that's going to happen that are unexpected. And I think that just understanding that part, I think changes everything. I feel like when you have the right foster home, they look at these children like as their own. And not to say that although they know these are foster youth, when I would say, focus more on the family component of things, it changes everything. So like I said, just understanding the fact that in families, you have ups and downs, you have bumps, you have bruises, you have free falls, you have a lot of different things coming from different ends. And you have to know that this is what we're dealing with. We're going to have to work through these things.
Thanks, Mel. Michelle, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Mel just hit it on the head, right? We talk about this is a family, and we want, our aim is to have that foster youth incorporated into the family. So we have something called the Prudent Parent Standard, the Reasonable Prudent Parent Act. Can you just talk a little bit about how that helps the foster parents incorporate that youth and be allowed to make certain, decisions without having to constantly go to DCF?
There are certain, right, so there are certain things that the department has recognized that there are things that a foster parent should be able to make a decision and be for the child, so that way they can engage in activities and programming that would support their socialization and their developments, where it doesn't require that constant going back to the department to get that permission. With that being said, it also includes like, oh, sorry, scheduling appointments and bringing them to those appointments and not heavily relying on the department, because again, we're doing that as Mel said, it's family oriented. It's something that you would do for your things that you would look to do for your own child. We would expect that families would do the same for the child that's coming to be placed in the home.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
Mariah, I'm gonna put you on the spot,
Alicia.
I'm hoping we can quickly go through the 3 phases of FFT and just talk about a little bit what each is and sort of what the role of the foster parent is in each phase. And so I'm going to ask you to say, talk to decide who's going to talk about each phase.
Oh, you want me to put them on the spot?
I do.
I don't know that that seems fair, Mindy. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Look at
so
Charisma. Charisma's like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
okay, but you guys know this stuff. Like this is not a pop quiz here. So FFT is broken down into three phases, sometimes a fourth, depending on the circumstances, but primarily it's the three phases. So the initial phase is called engagement and motivation. The second phase is called behavior change, and the third phase is called generalization. And the fourth phase, again, sometimes exists, sometimes does not, depending on the case, is called generalization stabilization, which is essentially just an extension of the generalization phase, and really speaks to the stability that's been achieved. In terms of engagement and motivation, Mel, you share what the goals are for engagement and motivation. And if you're wrong, I'll yell at you.
Well, this is where we familiarize ourselves with the family. We talk. We just have regular conversations. I see where you guys are at. I see where some of the problems are. But at this point, we're not really fixing anything. We're engaging. I'm getting to know you as a person. I'm understanding some of the conflicts that you may have. I'm looking at relational patterns and things that I might have to utilize later on in other phases. But at this moment, we're not fixing. We're really getting to know each other. So whether that be me having to play a game here or there, whether that be me having to have some conversations to reach out to different people that is connected with this case, but it's just us engaging, getting to know each other, understanding what some of the issues are, being aware of some of these issues, but we're not just at the phase yet where we are fixing. This is not where we're coming in and we're fixing. We're getting to know you. You're getting to know me. We're getting to know some of the problems, understand the family relationship, some of the issues in the families. And from there, we head towards our second phase.
Yep, that's pretty solid. And our ultimate goal in engagement and motivation is really hoping to build that family focused motivation on being able to work things out together. We hope to come out of engagement and motivation with everybody, foster parents, youth, other kids, depending on the circumstances, understanding a little bit more about what's going on for every other person in that home so that they are on the same page and ready to work together to tackle the things that are cropping up. Talia, tell us what the goals are in behavior change.
So when we're in behavior change, we're teaching like after we build rapport, after we have engagement and we know what's going on with the family, we start making like that's when we actually start helping them and we start building like skills, teaching them how to work through different situations that they're in. So we start supporting them better in like both the youth and the foster parent.
Yep, and that's the really important part. You hit the nail on the head. It is that teaching skills so that foster parents and youth can work things out together, working together to get through these issues that crop up. Exactly correct. And Riley, you do the first part of generalization.
So for
Sorry.
generalization, we take the work we did in behavior change. And in behavior change, you might have talked about a specific issue surrounding a certain topic, but we taught you skills that can be spread out along other areas. So even though we talked about like an issue surrounding school, we can now use this skill that we taught you to talk also about camps and about things that happen in the household. Generalization is to maintain the stabilization and the skills that we have taught you guys throughout the behavioral change phase. And also part of relapse prevention to kind of continue to support you guys to make sure we don't fall back into our old habits and we use those new habits to continue to propel ourselves forward to continue to be successful as a family.
You guys are rock stars. That is 100% correct. We are really using generalization to predict those future problems and apply what we already know works to those future problems. Charisma, what's the other part of Gen? We just talked about it actually. The sort of third goal of the generalization phase. You're doing it with that kid that we just talked about.
The way that my brain is kind of just not functioning at the moment. I mean, like, I know Riley went over like the major parts of it, but I guess it's just like ensuring that like whatever resources and stuff that are there are actually supportive of the final stage and moving forward, like them being on their own and utilizing those resources correctly and
You got it. You got it. That last part of generalization is that identifying other areas of treatment need. And so if there are additional resources or supports that either are in place, it's focusing on how they can use them moving forward or identifying additional ones that we might need to implement. 10 out of 10, guys. You all get A's.
Amazing. Thank you. Um, and so again, in all of this, um, the role of the foster parent is to meet with the team, to communicate. And the last thing I really want to review today, and I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. I'm going to leave it as an open question. Let's just all of our foster parents know we have that 24/7 on call. But let's talk a little bit about a crisis versus uh, an urgent matter versus routine matter. How to get in touch with us, right? Because we're saying we want to know things, we want to be informed, but what needs to be the phone call at 9 p.m. at night versus what can be a text that someone can pick up the next day versus what can just be an email informing. So I'm curious how you all review that when you're opening cases and going over that with, we'll say, a first-time placement, because we know many of our foster parents are well-seasoned and we don't necessarily always review that.
Just to start, and then I'll let you guys pop in, but the lingo, if you will, that we typically use is conflict, crisis, and emergency. So we kind of look at it as these three stages of what's a conflict, what's a crisis, and then what's an emergency, and kind of, Mindy, what you're speaking to, that sort of what action should be taken based on where it falls in that framework of conflict, crisis, emergency. Well, I'll let you guys kind of explain it
I was
further.
gonna say, you guys, I think that's your cue to talk about what situations fall within each. I think Mariah was trying to set you up to step in.
It's okay. I mean, I don't mind continuing to talk about it.
I could go. I
Yes,
unmuted
go.
myself, I guess. I feel like when we discuss like what we would deem like as like a conflict, for example, is, you know, not seeing eye to eye on TV watch time, right? Like that's a little bit more of a conflict versus an emergency, what would constitute more of a 211 call or the hotline call and stuff like that. Um, oh my gosh, why can't I remember the second word?
Crisis.
Okay,
No, you're good.
crisis.
You're
There we
good.
go. There we go.
You're right. A conflict is a disagreement. Those happen all the time. That's not, we don't need to be notified of that in the moment when it's happening. Or we do if you feel like you need to share, and then it's an email or a text, but it's not something that's going to get addressed in the moment. It's something that can be discussed at a future session. It's something that can be talked about at some point in the future. Those kinds of disagreements are going to happen very frequently.
And then more of a crisis would be, maybe the foster child is dysregulated because of a situation that occurred after a visit, or, you know, they need a little more of a person to talk to talk them down and to have a little bit more of like a one-to-one conversation. That would be a little bit more of a phone call and, a little bit more of the next level kind of intervention. And then an emergency would be, we're straight up throwing things, we're picking up weapons, we're hurting ourselves, we are not safe with ourselves or other people in general. So that would definitely constitute more of a 211 call, 911. Obviously, the hotline number one, you call us, you let us know what's going on. But, just so we can kind of walk you through the next best steps. But yeah.
You did a great job. Crisis is definitely that initial. We know things are escalating. Maybe some support is needed in that moment. Maybe not. Maybe the kid is escalating and throwing things, but foster parent is able to calm them down. Okay, so you let us know what took place. You let us know what happened, and we address it moving forward. You are absolutely correct, though, that emergency piece, it's the safety. You hit the nail on the head. It becomes an emergency when safety becomes an issue.
And so thank you. That's really helpful from the clinical side. And Michelle, I'm just going to ask you to quickly review from the licensing side, what types of things would constitute a call to on-call?
I'm pretty much reiterating what Charisma had mentioned. The caveat to that in regards to the steps that we have to take, kind of like behind the scenes, is if at any point that 911 is contacted, we would need to be informed. So that way there's documentation that we handle, again, behind the scenes. So anytime the 911 is called, whether it be, and it's for anyone that lives in the home. So it could be one of your own biological children, it could be for them, for yourself, it can be for the foster youth as well. If emergency services also was being contacted again. And again, it's just stuff that we would record on our end so that we can inform the Department of Family and Children. Sorry, I said that all combined.
Yep, DCF. We'll shorten it
Yeah,
for you.
thank you.
Yep. So for the licensing side, anytime there's a 911 call, whether it's for the foster youth or not, and then anytime a child is taken to an emergency department, even if 911 isn't called, but you take them, we would also need to know that. Even
One of the things also I just want to mention, because we had one call recently, was when the child didn't took off from the home and there was no contact with the youth. And so after when there's when there is absolutely no contact with the youth, we don't know their whereabouts, who they're with, where they are. We ask for the families to make a report to the local police department, the non-emergency number, make a missing child report, let us know so that way we can also inform DCF as well. And usually if there is no contact, is no contact after an hour.
But I would say, Mariah, correct me if I'm wrong, but if a child has run away, that call should come into your team for the clinical side too, yes?
Yep, we ask that they notify us anytime that a kid has AWOL'd, and usually we can kind of put a plan in place and the kid is back within that time frame and things kind of move forward. But yes, we do ask that they reach out to us.
Excellent. Okay. So I want to reiterate that none of this work is possible without the foster families. We absolutely recognize how much is on their plate, that the expectations on foster parents are much higher than on regular parents. And so that we are here to support you. No question is out of line. No question is silly. And we appreciate and recognize you every day we come to work, and we recognize that for you, this is not a job, this is a life. So with that, we will sign off and we will see you in February.